Oatmeal seems harmless, even healthy, but make these common mistakes and it turns into slow poison for your body. It's not about what you eat, it's how you prepare it. Stay until the very end, because the final mistake is the one quietly doing the most damage. Mindless action. We begin the day already in a state of deficit, a kind of inner debt. The alarm, a synthetic shriek in the quiet dark, does not just wake the body. It detonates a cascade of thoughts that immediately floods the mind. The list of tasks for the day, the lingering worries of yesterday, the vague anxieties for tomorrow. The mind is not here in the emerging light of the bedroom. It is everywhere else at once. And in this state of profound inner chaos, we approach our first act of conscious creation. We move to the kitchen, but we are not truly moving. We are being pulled by 100 different invisible threads of thought. Our body, a capable servant, is on autopilot. We take the oats from the cupboard, the water from the tap, the spoon from the drawer. But do we truly feel them? Do we notice the reassuring weight of the container in our hands, the dry rustle the oats make as they cascade into the bowl? Do we observe the miracle of absorption, the way the clear water vanishes into the grain, the slow, beautiful transformation that occurs with the introduction of heat? Or is it all a blur? A series of mechanical, ghost-like actions performed while the mind is lost in a frantic screenplay of its own making. This is the first poison, the poison of mindless action. When you prepare your food without presence, you are not preparing a meal. You are merely assembling fuel. You are engaging in a thoughtless, hollow transaction. This is so much more than a missed opportunity for a pleasant, quiet moment. It is a form of negative training. You are actively training your mind from the very first moments of your day to be absent. You are teaching your nervous system through repetition that the present moment is merely an obstacle, a stepping stone to the next one, something to be rushed through and immediately discarded. The energy you infuse into this preparation is the very energy that will follow you through the morning. If the preparation is chaotic, hurried, and unconscious, you are injecting that same chaotic energy into your body and setting the energetic keynote for the hours to come. The food itself may be organic and healthy, but the practice of its creation is toxic. Think of the skilled artisan, the master calligrapher. Before the brush ever touches the pristine paper, there is a profound stillness, a gathering of intention, the grinding of the ink stick in the stone, the careful preparation of the paper. These are not mundane chores to be rushed. They are an integral part of the art itself. They are the sacred foundation upon which the final, beautiful expression will rest. Your first meal of the day is no different. It is your first act of creation in the new day. How can you possibly expect to build a day of focus, clarity, and peace upon a foundation of utter distraction and internal haste? You cannot. The structure will be inherently weak. It will be vulnerable to the slightest winds of external pressure and internal doubt. When you eat in this state of mental absence, your body cannot truly receive the nourishment you offer it. It consumes the food, yes, but the reception is poor, like a radio signal filled with static. The body is inextricably connected to the mind. If the mind is in a state of stress, of frantic planning, or incessant worrying, it sends insistent signals of alarm throughout the entire nervous system. The digestive system, in turn, does not and cannot operate with optimal efficiency. It is being told that there is a threat, that it must prepare for fight or flight, not for the gentle, receptive process of digestion and assimilation. So you eat this healthy meal, but you are not truly absorbing its benefits. You are merely quieting the physical sensation of hunger while reinforcing a mental and spiritual pattern of profound absence from your own life. This is the nature of the subtle poison. It does not announce itself with a bitter taste or a foul smell. It is tasteless. It is invisible. It works its way into the very fabric of your being, day by day, bowl by bowl. It slowly becomes the norm, the baseline of your existence. We forget what it feels like to be truly present for a simple act. We come to accept this inner scattering as a necessary, unavoidable part of modern life. But it is not. It is a choice. And with each rushed, unconscious breakfast, we reinforce that choice. We are choosing again and again to be absent from our own lives. The antidote is not to magically find more time. The illusion is that we do not have 5 minutes. The stark reality is that we are unwilling to claim them, to defend them from the tyranny of our own restless minds. The antidote is to bring your mind back to where your body is. It is to feel the unique character of the spoon in your hand. Is it cool to the touch? Is it heavy or light? It is to notice the ghost-like steam rising from the warm bowl, to smell the simple, earthy, honest aroma of the oats. It is to take a single conscious breath before the first bite, to bring the whole of your attention, for just a few precious moments, to this single simple act. In doing so, you are not just preparing oatmeal, you are preparing your mind. You are starting your day with a deliberate act of presence, an act of self-mastery. You are choosing to be here, and from that place of grounded presence, a very different kind of day can unfold. The meal becomes more than fuel. It becomes a practice. It becomes a meditation. It becomes the first conscious step in a day lived with intention, rather than a day lived on autopilot, driven by the chaotic winds of a distracted mind. This is the first transformation we must seek, to turn the poison of mindlessness into the medicine of presence. The world screams at you to be faster, to be more efficient, to multitask your way to success. But where does this frantic race truly lead? It leads to a life lived in the hazy periphery of our own experience. We are always on the way to somewhere else, never fully arriving anywhere. We are in the shower thinking about the first meeting. We are in the meeting thinking about what to make for dinner. We are at dinner scrolling through the curated highlight reels of other people's lives. The mind is never allowed to settle. It becomes a restless ghost, haunting the ruins of the past and the anxieties of the future, but never truly inhabiting the vibrant, living present. And this ghost is fed first thing in the morning. We feed it with a rushed bowl of oatmeal. We give it the very energy it needs to continue its restless, unsatisfying journey. To break this pervasive pattern requires a conscious act of rebellion. It is a rebellion against the modern cult of speed. It is a rebellion against the deeply ingrained illusion that your value as a human being is determined by your productivity. To stand still for 3 minutes and simply prepare a bowl of food with your full, undivided attention is a radical act in the modern world. It is a quiet declaration that you are the master of your own mind, not its frantic servant. You are reclaiming your attention as your most valuable and sacred resource. You are deciding with intention where it will be placed. Consider the nature and energy of water. If its surface is turbulent and chaotic, it cannot reflect a clear image. It distorts everything it sees into a fractured, unrecognizable mess. This is the state of the typical mind in the morning, a turbulent surface of thoughts, anxieties, plans, and memories. When you approach your meal with this mind, you cannot see the meal for what it is. You see it only through the distorted lens of your own inner state. The act of preparing the meal with presence is the act of allowing that turbulent water to become still, slowly, gently, patiently, by focusing on the simple, tangible reality of the task. The turbulence begins to subside, the water clears, and in that clarity, you can see yourself. You can see your choices. You can see the path ahead. This practice begins before you even open the kitchen cupboard. It begins with a quiet intention. As you walk to the kitchen, you can make a simple choice. For these next few minutes, I will be here and nowhere else. My mind will attend to my hands. My awareness will be in this room. This is a gentle command to yourself, a soft redirection of energy. It is not about violently forcing thoughts away. Thoughts will inevitably arise. That is the nature of the mind. The practice is to simply notice them like clouds passing in the sky, and then gently, without judgment or frustration, return your focus to the task at hand. Return to the sound of the oats, return to the feeling of the water, return to the steady, quiet rhythm of your own breath. Each time you do this, you are building a muscle. It is the muscle of attention, the muscle of presence. And like any muscle, it grows stronger and more reliable with consistent repetition. At first, it may feel difficult, even frustrating. The mind, like a spoiled child, will want to wander. It will pull you back into its familiar, well-worn patterns of distraction. This is perfectly normal. The training is not to achieve a state of perfect, unbroken concentration. The training is in the returning. The gentle, persistent, compassionate act of coming back again and again and again to the present moment. This is the very heart of the practice. This is precisely why the simple bowl of oatmeal is such a powerful and accessible training ground. It is not complex. It does not require immense skill or specialized equipment. It requires only your attention. And because it is something you do every day, it provides a consistent, reliable opportunity to practice. It is a chance to transform a mundane routine into a sacred ritual. It is an opportunity to turn a source of mental poison into a source of profound mental and spiritual nourishment. The choice is yours to make every single morning. Will you begin your day by poisoning your mind with distraction, or will you begin it by nourishing your spirit with presence? The answer determines not just the quality of your breakfast, but the quality of your life. Impure ingredients. We have spoken of the mind, the unseen force that shapes our experience. Now we must speak of the matter, the physical substance from which we build our temple. Your body is this temple. It is the only physical vessel you have in this life to house your consciousness, your emotions, your spirit. How do you treat this sacred temple? Do you adorn it with offerings of purity, vitality, and strength, or do you defile it with that which is cheap, artificial, and born of a desperate impatience? This brings us to the second poison, the poison of impure ingredients. When we look at our bowl of oatmeal, what do we truly see? For many, the simple, humble oat is not enough. The palate, conditioned by a world of hyperstimulation and aggressive flavors, finds it plain, even boring. So we reach for things to add. And what do we so often reach for? We reach for the heaping spoonfuls of processed brown sugar, the brightly colored artificial sweeteners in their paper packets, the manufactured syrups that flow with a satisfying speed, but carry within them a hidden and heavy cost. We seek a blast of flavor, a quick, intense hit of pleasure to jolt a sleepy system awake. This is not an act of nourishment. It is an act of profound disrespect. It is a silent statement to your own body that its natural state of balance is not good enough. It is a clear sign that you value the fleeting, intense pleasure of a sugar high over the deep, sustained strength that comes from purity. You would not walk into a sacred temple and spray graffiti on the ancient walls. You would not thoughtlessly leave trash upon the altar, yet we do this to our own bodies every single day. We treat the sacred vessel of our life with a carelessness and a contempt that we would not show to a simple building of wood and stone. The poison here is twofold, affecting both body and spirit. There is the obvious physical consequence. Loading your first meal of the day with a heavy dose of refined sugars creates a dramatic spike in blood glucose, which is inevitably and swiftly followed by a debilitating crash. This crash leaves you feeling tired, mentally foggy, irritable, and paradoxically craving even more sugar. You are setting yourself up for a day of energetic volatility, a roller coaster of artificial highs and wearying lows that makes sustained focus and calm equilibrium impossible. You are teaching your body to be dependent on these external hits of stimulation, rather than cultivating its own stable, powerful internal source of energy. But the more subtle, more corrosive poison is the one that affects the mind and the spirit. The act of choosing these ingredients is an exercise in impatience and a glaring lack of discipline. It represents a surrender to the path of least resistance. It is the easy, loud, and lazy answer to the question of flavor. To choose purity requires more thought. It requires a different kind of palate, a more refined sensitivity, one that can appreciate the subtle, nutty, wholesome flavor of the oat itself. It requires the discipline to say no to the easy, shouting, and ultimately empty promise of artificial intensity. This discipline is not about deprivation. This is a common and destructive misunderstanding. We see discipline as a harsh, joyless, and punishing path. But true discipline is a form of profound self-respect. It is the powerful recognition that you are worthy of that which is pure, that which is whole, that which truly nourishes. It is the gateway to freedom from the insidious cravings that modern food science has so expertly engineered to control you. The person who cannot enjoy a simple bowl of oatmeal without a mountain of sugar is not free. They are a slave to a conditioned palate. Their pleasure is entirely dependent on an external, artificial source. The person who can find deep satisfaction in the simple, unadorned meal is the one who is truly free. Their satisfaction comes from within. The antidote, then, is the conscious cultivation of purity. This means choosing your additions with the same intention and respect you bring to the preparation itself. What can you add that honors the body, that respects the temple? Perhaps a small amount of raw honey, a miraculous golden gift from the bees. Perhaps some fresh berries, a vibrant, jewel-like offering from the earth. Perhaps some nuts or seeds, each one a tiny, dense package of life force and energy. Each of these additions is a whole food. It has an integrity. It is not something concocted in a laboratory to trick your taste buds. It is something that has grown from the soil under the sun. It carries with it an energy of life, not an energy of industry. When you make this choice, you are doing far more than just eating a healthier meal. You are engaging in a daily practice of discernment. You are training your mind to look beyond the fleshy surface, to understand the true nature of what you are about to consume. You are cultivating a deep appreciation for simplicity. In a world that constantly screams for more, for bigger, for sweeter, for louder, the choice for simplicity is an act of profound inner strength. It is a quiet, personal revolution against the pervasive culture of excess. This practice of choosing pure ingredients extends far beyond your breakfast bowl. It becomes a powerful metaphor for how you live your life. What information do you allow into your mind? Do you fill it with the mental equivalent of junk food, the endless celebrity gossip, the manufactured outrage, the constant meaningless stream of information designed to keep you agitated? Or do you choose to nourish it with that which is pure, that which is true, that which builds wisdom and clarity? The ingredients you choose for your oatmeal are a direct reflection of the ingredients you choose for your life. Look at your bowl. Is it a chaotic, sickly sweet mixture of artificial powders and syrups, a desperate attempt to mask the simple, honest nature of what is there? Or is it a thoughtful, beautiful composition of whole, pure ingredients, each one chosen with respect and clear intention? The former is a bowl of weakness. It represents a surrender to impulse and a fundamental disrespect for the vessel. The latter is a bowl of strength. It represents discipline, self-respect, and a deep understanding of what it means to truly nourish oneself. The poison of impurity weakens you from the inside out, physically and spiritually. The antidote of purity builds a foundation of unshakable strength, one meal, one choice at a time. This is not about diet, it is about discipline. It is not about calories, it is about character. The journey towards a pure palate is a journey back to sensitivity. Our senses have been systematically dulled by the constant, relentless bombardment of extreme flavors. We have forgotten the subtle sweetness of a freshly picked carrot, the earthy depth of a beet, the clean, life-giving taste of pure water. To return to these simple, honest truths requires a period of recalibration. At first, the simple bowl of oats may indeed taste bland. This is not a failure of the oats. It is a sign of how far our senses have strayed. It is a diagnostic tool showing you the way home. The practice is to stay with it, to resist the powerful conditioned urge to immediately mask the simplicity. Give your senses time to heal, to reawaken from their slumber. After a few days, perhaps a week, something remarkable begins to happen. You start to truly taste the oat. You notice its creamy texture, its subtle, nutty flavor that was previously buried under an avalanche of sugar. The addition of a few berries becomes a startling burst of vibrant sweetness, no longer just a muted note in a chaotic symphony of sugar. You are rediscovering your innate sensitivity. You are coming home to your own body. This process is a profound teacher. It teaches you that true satisfaction does not come from adding more, but from becoming more sensitive to what is already there. This is a principle that applies to all areas of life. We seek happiness by adding more possessions, more achievements, more experiences. But true, Lasting contentment is found not by adding more, but by becoming more exquisitely sensitive to the simple, profound beauty of the present moment. Your breakfast bowl can be your teacher in this. It can show you the path back to yourself. So when you stand before your pantry, see it as a place of sacred choice, a daily opportunity to practice this vital discipline. Each container holds a different potential. One holds the potential for a quick, fleeting pleasure that ultimately weakens the entire system. Another holds the potential for deep, sustained nourishment that builds strength and resilience from the inside out. The hand that reaches for the processed sugar is the hand of the slave, driven by unconscious craving. The hand that reaches for the whole, pure food is the hand of the master, guided by conscious intention and profound self-respect. This is the power you hold every single morning, the power to choose, the power to build, the power to define the relationship you have with your own body. Do not underestimate the immense significance of this small choice. How you do one thing is how you do everything. The discipline you cultivate in choosing the ingredients for your breakfast will ripple out into all other areas of your life. It will inform the books you read, the company you keep, the thoughts you entertain. It all begins here, with this simple bowl, and the conscious, respectful choice to honor your temple with purity. Divided attention. We have prepared our meal with presence. We have chosen our ingredients with purity. We have a bowl of honest, nourishing food before us, a testament to our intention. And now we arrive at what is perhaps the most pervasive and insidious poison of our modern age. We sit down to eat. And what do? We reach for a companion. Not a person, but a screen. The phone, the tablet, the television, the laptop. We begin the physical act of eating, but our attention, our consciousness, is immediately given away to something else entirely. This is the third poison, the poison of divided attention. When you eat while looking at the screen, you are not truly eating. Your body is performing the mechanical actions of chewing and swallowing, but your mind, your conscious self, is elsewhere. It is absorbed in a stressful work email, mindlessly scrolling through a social media feed, reacting with anger or fear to a news headline. You are present at your table in body, but completely absent in mind. You have willingly fragmented yourself, and this fragmentation has profound consequences that we consistently and dangerously underestimate. First, let's consider the body. The mind and the gut are intricately connected through a complex communication network, an ancient pathway often called the gut-brain axis. For digestion to occur optimally, the body needs to be in a parasympathetic state, a state of rest and digest. It is a calm, receptive, and peaceful state. When your mind is engaged with a screen, especially with the agitating content of the news or stressful work emails, it triggers a sympathetic nervous system response, the fight or flight state. Your brain is receiving information that it interprets as potentially threatening or demanding. It releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. The body tenses. Blood flow is diverted away from the digestive system to the large muscles in preparation for action that never comes. So here you are. You have this beautiful, pure meal prepared with presence, but you are trying to digest it while your body is in a state of low-grade constant alarm. The entire digestive process is compromised. You may experience bloating, indigestion, or physical discomfort. More importantly, you are not fully assimilating the precious nutrients from the food. The very wall of the intestine becomes less efficient at its job. You can eat the most perfect, organic, pure food in the world, but if you eat it in a state of distraction and stress, you are squandering its potential. You are pouring pure water into a broken cup. The act of eating becomes a source of stress for the body, rather than a source of nourishment and repair. But the physical consequences, as serious as they are, pale in comparison to the mental and spiritual poison being ingested. When you eat while distracted, you are actively training your mind in the art of division. You are teaching it day after day that it is acceptable, even normal, to be in two places at once. But the truth is, the mind can only truly be in one place at a time. What we call multitasking is a destructive myth. It is actually rapid, inefficient, and exhausting switching between tasks. Each switch depletes our finite mental energy and deepens the neurological groove of fractured attention. You are reinforcing a habit that makes deep focus, creative thinking, and genuine human connection nearly impossible. How can you expect to be fully present for an important conversation with a loved one, for a complex task at work, or for a moment of quiet internal reflection, when you have trained your mind for hours every single week to be constantly divided? The way you eat is the way you live. If you eat with a fragmented mind, you will live a fragmented life. You will become a person who is never fully where they are, always partially absent, their precious life force bleeding away into the digital ether. This is a profound and tragic loss of power. Your attention is your primary tool for shaping your reality. Where you place your attention is what you nourish in your life. If you place it on your food, on the sensations of taste and texture, on the feeling of gratitude for the nourishment, you nourish a state of presence, calm, and peace. If you place your attention on a screen, you nourish a state of distraction, anxiety, and reactivity. You are literally feeding the very mental states that you claim you want to be free from. You are using your mealtime to practice being the person you do not want to be. The antidote is breathtakingly simple in its instruction, yet profoundly challenging in its daily practice. When you eat, just eat. That is all. Put the phone away, put it in another room if necessary to remove the temptation. Turn off the television, close the laptop. For the 10 or 15 minutes it takes to consume your meal, let that be the only thing you are doing. Let the food be your single point of focus. What does this feel like? At first, it may feel deeply uncomfortable. It may feel boring. The mind, so accustomed to a constant fire hose of stimulation, will become restless and agitated. It will itch for its digital drug. This discomfort is not a failure. It is a sign of your addiction. It is a clear and direct signal of how deeply the pattern of distraction is ingrained in your nervous system. Do not run from this feeling. Sit with it. Observe it without judgment. It is the feeling of withdrawal. It is the feeling of healing. As you persist in this practice, something changes. You begin to notice things you have never noticed before. You notice the complex layers of flavor in each bite. You notice the changing texture and temperature in your mouth. You become aware of the simple act of chewing, the process of swallowing. You become an intimate participant in the act of being nourished rather than a passive observer. The meal is no longer a transactional, refueling stop on the way to something more important. It becomes an experience, a rich sensory and deeply grounding experience. You are reclaiming your mind from the brink. With each undistracted bite, you are taking back your power from the corporate and technological forces that seek to fracture your attention for their own profit. You are making a stand. You are quietly and firmly declaring that your inner peace is more important than the latest notification. You are choosing to be the master of your technology, not its mindless servant. This is a practice of immense and foundational self-respect. The world will not support you in this endeavor. The world is designed to pull you apart. Every app, every headline, every device is expertly engineered to capture and hold your attention. To sit and simply eat is to swim against a powerful, relentless current. But it is in this very resistance that your strength is forged. The strength to be present, the strength to be whole, the strength to be here, now, fully alive in your own life. This poison of divided attention turns nourishment into an afterthought and the mealtime into a training ground for a scattered mind. The antidote of single-pointed focus transforms the meal into a sanctuary of peace and a powerful practice for reclaiming your most precious resource, your own undivided attention. Do not give it away so cheaply, especially not during the sacred act of building and honoring your own temple. Sacred ritual. We arrive now at the very heart of the matter. We have identified the poisons that corrupt our morning meal, the mindlessness of its preparation, the impurity of its ingredients, the damaging division of our attention. But what is the underlying cause? What is the single root from which these three poisons grow? It is this: the failure to understand why we eat. This is the fourth and most critical mistake, the poison of ignorance. We believe we eat to silence the rumbling in our stomach, to gain energy to perform our tasks. We see it as a biological necessity, a chore on a to-do list. And because we see it this way, we rush it, we compromise it with poor ingredients, and we distract ourselves from it. But the true purpose of eating is not merely to fuel the body, it is to consciously build your temple. It is to honor the life force that animates you. It is to participate in a sacred, ancient cycle of creation, consumption, and transformation. When this deeper understanding is absent, the act of eating has no higher purpose. It becomes hollow. And from this hollowness, from this lack of meaning, all other mistakes are born. The ultimate antidote, therefore, is not a series of tips or tricks. It is a fundamental shift in perspective. It is the transformation of a mundane act into a sacred ritual. What does this mean, to make your breakfast a ritual? A ritual is not a complex, dogmatic ceremony. It is any action, however simple, that is performed with deliberate, focused intention and a clear awareness of its deeper meaning. It is about consciously infusing the ordinary with a sense of the sacred. The solution to all three of the previous poisons is found and unified in this single, powerful practice. The ritual begins with gratitude. Before you take the first bite of the meal you have prepared with presence, using pure ingredients, and which you will eat with your full, undivided attention, take a moment. Pause. Put down the spoon, look at the bowl, and truly consider all that it took for this meal to arrive before you. Think of the sun, the rain, the rich soil that nourished the oats. Think of the farmers who planted and harvested the grain whose labor is in your bowl. Think of the people who transported it, who packaged it, who brought it to the store where you bought it. Think of your own work that allowed you to purchase it. An entire cosmos of interconnected effort, stretching through time and space, is represented in this simple bowl. To feel a genuine moment of gratitude for this is to shift your entire state of being. You move from a state of mindless consumption to a state of conscious, humble reception. You are not just a customer taking a product. You are the fortunate recipient of a great many gifts from the earth and from other people. This feeling of gratitude softens the heart. It quiets the demanding ego. It immediately frames the meal not as something you are owed, but as something you are privileged to receive. This is the essential foundation of the sacred ritual. Then, as you eat, you practice the synthesis of all the antidotes we have discussed. Your attention is here and only here, single-pointed. You feel the spoon, you taste the food, you are aware of your body receiving it. This is the antidote to divided attention. You are savoring the pure, whole ingredients, feeling their life-giving energy enter and build your body. This is the antidote to impurity. And the entire process, from the walk to the kitchen to the final spoonful, is performed with a calm, deliberate presence. This is the antidote to mindless action. The ritual is the container that holds all the other practices together. It gives them a form, a structure, and a profound purpose. By transforming your breakfast into a daily ritual, you are achieving something far more important than just having a healthy meal. You are practicing the core disciplines of a conscious life first thing in the morning. You are practicing presence. You are practicing discipline. You are practicing gratitude. You are practicing self-mastery. You are starting your day not in a state of chaos and reaction, but in a state of grounded, intentional, and centered peace. You are tuning the instrument of your mind before you begin to play the music of your day. The energy you cultivate during this quiet ritual becomes the stable foundation for your entire day. When you walk out of your kitchen and into the demands of the world, you are not walking out as a scattered, stressed, and reactive person. You are walking out as someone who has already practiced being centered. You have already practiced being the calm master of your own mind. You are therefore far more resilient to the challenges, pressures, and distractions the day will inevitably bring. You have filled your own cup first. You have fortified your own temple from within. This practice is the ultimate form of self-care, not the indulgent, superficial self-care of bath bombs and face masks that is so often promoted, but a deep, foundational self-respect. It is the understanding that how you treat yourself in the small, quiet moments is what determines your strength and character in the large, loud ones. Your breakfast bowl becomes your training ground. It is your dojo. It is your monastery. It is the place where you practice in a very real and tangible way, becoming the person you truly wish to be. Do not dismiss this as unimportant. Do not say you do not have the time. The 5 or 10 minutes required for this ritual are not lost time. They are the most valuable and high-leverage investment you can possibly make in your day, and by extension, in your life. It is in these quiet moments of ritual that you build the inner architecture of your being. You are laying the foundation of a fortress of inner peace, one spoonful, one breath at a time. This is the power that is hidden in your morning bowl of oatmeal. It is not just food, it is a tool for transformation. Your breakfast bowl is a perfect reflection of your mind. For many, that reflection is one of chaos, impurity, and distraction. It is a mirror of a life lived on the surface, a life driven by unconscious impulse and relentless external demands. Is this the reflection you want to see? Is this the foundation upon which you truly want to build your one precious life? Or will you choose to see a different reflection? A reflection of intention, a reflection of simplicity, a reflection of strength, a bowl that is prepared with presence, filled with purity, and consumed with a quiet gratitude that stills the turbulent waters of the mind. This meal is not about oatmeal. It has never been about oatmeal. It is about how you do one thing and recognizing that this is how you do everything. It is about starting your day, and therefore your life, with an act of conscious, deliberate mastery. The choice is yours, the poison or the ritual, every single morning you choose. What is one simple daily action you could transform into a more mindful ritual?